Welcome to my kitchen. Saturdays are always busy, and it's 8 o'clock at night, and I'm just now getting started on making sauerkraut. Now, this is going to be a raw pack. My granny used to do it, and now I do it. So if you don't feel like keeping a big crock of sauerkraut going for 4 to 6 weeks before you can it, this is an easy way to do a quick raw pack. Get it on the shelf, and then you just leave it sitting on the shelf, 4 to 6 weeks or longer before you open it. So let's get started. So we're going to make our brine really quick. I've got water in my stock pot, and we're going to add white distilled vinegar. I'm actually going to use a good bit. I'll try not to splash it everywhere. Now, my husband likes his sauerkraut with a little bit of a bite to it, so I'm going to add some crushed red pepper flakes. You can make your brine to your liking. Just a little crushed red pepper. Tiny bit. I've got sugar and salt here. Not a whole lot, just a little sugar and salt that I'm going to sprinkle in. Now, this, if you want to add pickling spice, if you want to add garlic, whatever you want to add, you can add to your brine. This is just a really simple water, distilled white vinegar, salt, sugar, and I put crushed red pepper flakes in here for just a little bit of a kick. But make sure that you have more vinegar than you do water. Do your ratio. It's usually like 1 part water to 2 or 3 parts vinegar. So it works out. I'm just making a huge vat of it because I've got 4 cabbages I need to shred down. All right, I'm going to get this on to heat and then start shredding my cabbage. I picked up some really nice cabbage the other day. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to core my cabbage. And then if you have a chopper, that's great. Chop this up. I don't, so I'm just going to take a knife and use my cutting board and cut it into ribbons. And then I've got a sink with cold water in there, so I'm going to get this chopped up, get it washed, and then after that I will be ready to pack it in my jars. I'm not actually using this jar, it was just sitting here, but I will pack it in my jars, pour my warm brine over top of it, the flats, the rings, and then it's going into a water bath canner, and I will water bath it for 20 minutes. So let's get this going. My brine is here. It is warmed up. Now remember, we are going to be water bathing, so we need our brine, the water in our canner, and our jars all at the same temperature. So we're going to work quickly here. I'm going to fill my jar, put brine in it, and then we'll wipe the tops with vinegar and get them in the canner. I promise I'll get there. All right, so all you want to do, see, I've just cut my cabbage up into pieces. Now, if you want to cut it in smaller pieces, you can, or whatever. I'm just going to fill my jar with my clean cabbage, pack it down in there pretty good. Now, whether you use pints or if you use the quart jar, you'll process it for 30 minutes. I'm using the pint. Well, I'm going to be doing some pints and some quarts. So my pint jars, I'm going to process for 20 minutes. And like I said, get that cabbage packed down in there. Okay, you want it nice and full. Now we're going to take our brine here. Now remember, I put red pepper flakes in mine. You don't have to do that to yours. And we will need to debubble the jar here. You can get a debubbler tool. I use a butter knife. I'm just going to go down around the edges. Now this is ready. I will take a paper towel damp with white vinegar, wipe my rim, and then I'll put my flat on and my ring on. So I'm going to go ahead and get these jars filled, and then we'll come back. Now that I've got my jars filled, white vinegar, set that out of the way, and this just keeps anything from sticking. If there's any residue or anything, it just keeps or allows the seal to seal without being compromised. Now I packed my cabbage a little full, but it will shrink up a little bit when you cook it down. Just try to make sure it's all submerged in that brine. Okay, now to get my flats, I've got my flats in some warm water, not hot water, but in warm water. My rings, you just want fingertip tight. If you tighten it too much, it's going to buckle and you'll not get a seal on there. And if you don't tighten it enough, then the whole thing's going to come off. So you just want fingertip, just like that. All right, I'm going to get the rest of these sealed up and then put them in the canner. I've got my jars all loaded into my canner. Here it is. I'm going to put my lid on. I'm going to turn my temperature up. And as soon as this starts to bubble really good, I will set my timer and process these for 20 minutes. So we'll be back. The 20 minutes is up. Pressure has came down off of my canner. So now it's time to get these jars out. Thanks for joining me today, and happy canning!